Actually, I would like to call this test drive as a fight of retro cars, but a huge army of Mitsubishi ASX and Suzuki Vitara admirers might get offended. That's why let's call it as a comparative test of Japanese classics ASX against Vitara. And we won't talk too much and make conclusions instead of you. Everything you'll see by your own eyes and make your own personal consequences. Let me remind you that we engage brakes at a speed of 60 km per hour. The best result of Mitsubishi is 11 meters 10 centimeters. The worst is 11.76. The arithmetic average of 3 trials is 11 meters 47 centimeters. The best result of Vitara is 10.99. The worst 12.23. The arithmetic average 11.41. Nominally, Vitara wins, but as you can see, the braking distance difference is too small. Mitsubishi instrument panel, 2 analog indicators, in the middle is a modest-sized color trip computer, pretty much reminds me trip computers of Mitsubishi 10 years ago, so any changes or revolution? What's new in the central console? Big color display, bigger than Suzuki has. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay we also have here. What's the answer of Suzuki Vitara? We'll see a bit later. Concerning plastics, it's uncostly but looks good. The same as nobles who lost all their money but not a dignity. What I don't like are those heating buttons. Their design is killing me equally as plastic's quality. Climate control knob buttons also have strange design. Yes, it's comfortable to use them, but not a pleasure when they look like this. Any critical remarks to seats, comfort and design? Everything feels and looks good. Concerning the configuration variety, you can find several test drives on our channel. Among them, you can check the last generation of Mitsubishi ASX. You'll receive all the answers to your questions. Being brief, the high-line vehicle has all the needed for a comfortable driving. Start-stop button, multifunctional steering wheel, seat heater, but not a steering wheel heater. What else? A climate control, I have told about it already, and even 2 USB inputs. If you are 190 centimeters tall, then you won't enjoy the time in the backseat. But if you are 180 or 185 centimeters, you'll feel comfortable. Do you remember I mentioned that Mitsubishi ASX is a compact crossover, and these words are proven in the back seats. Now the driving seat is adjusted up to my height and my knees bump into the driving seat backrest. Nevertheless, the backrest is soft enough and my knees don't hurt, and what's important, the space for foot is well arranged, thus you can put them under the seat. The seat backrests can't be adjusted and their position is too vertical, at least for me. I'm thankful for Japanese engineers who didn't intend to create a coupe-like silhouette of ASX, and that's why I have enough space for my head upward. I'm sure that all the tall drivers will be happy the same as I am. Now, let's check Suzuki. Suzuki Vitara also owns analog indicators, but its trip computer is bigger and what's valuable, with the enhanced computer graphics. Looking at the central console, it's obvious that multimedia system display is smaller than ASX has. You can connect to Android Auto or Apple CarPlay too, I guess. This vehicle also has a rear-view camera, but without panoramic view. Seems like Suzuki has better graphics than Mitsubishi. Plastics reminds me its primitive version. It's very simple and seems like Suzuki engineers know it. That's why they give you a compensation bonus in the Highline configuration, the panoramic sunroof. Look at the climate control buttons. Up to me, they look more attractive inside Suzuki, better design and smarter functionality. The seats' heating buttons are the same, more pretty than Mitsubishi has. For sure, the cherry on top, it's famous Japanese clock. Suzuki Vitara owns it, but ASX doesn't. What a shame to roll back in 21st century. Mitsubishi, you can't make it, you can't yield up. We love Japanese cars equipped with traditional Japanese clocks. Feels like Vitara has less flail space inside rather than Mitsubishi. Let's check it from the backseat and compare it to ASX backseat space. So, here we are in the back seat of Suzuki Vitara, and for real, it's less spacious here comparing to Mitsubishi. The seat backrests are fixed the same two vertical way. For me, it's not comfortable. Again, my knees bump into the driving seat backrests. Thanks God it's soft. Unlike Mitsubishi, here I don't have enough headroom space. Seems like the reason is this big panoramic roof. At least it had stolen 5 centimeters of a headroom. We make the L test with the stability control switched on at a speed of 60 km per hour. Suzuki behaves predictably, its stability control acts smoothly and slow down the wheels and align the vehicle in time. No problem secure at a speed of 65-70 km per hour. The situation changes at a speed of 75. This time a driver shall be very attentive. Safety system gives most responsibilities directly to a driver. Would be good to test the vehicle at a speed of 80 km per hour, but more road markers and time are needed. Meanwhile, Mitsubishi is waiting for us already. During the L test, Mitsubishi acts otherwise. The vehicle isn't that quick as Vitara, and I need more time to get used to stability control reactions. We're passing the obstacles at a speed of 60 and 65 km per hour. Not ideally, but nevertheless, it could be worse. Further, Mitsubishi improves and equalizes the scores with Vitara. If talking about a speed of 80 km per hour, it's already obvious that Mitsubishi needs more driver's time and training rather than Suzuki. The vehicles are passing the slalom test in different manner. Suzuki seems more shaky, it's like dropping on its paws when passing the marker. All this process is abrupt, not flawless. It's like a shock absorber becomes broken at one moment unexpectedly. But the driver doesn't feel it, as the vehicle passes the obstacle obeyingly. The only thing that disturbs the car is rolling. Mitsubishi acts in more common manner. It's less shaky, but it passes the slalom quite widely and seems like its result is worse comparing to Suzuki's. Now look, we overlay two videos for comparing the pathways and finding the winner. Suzuki finishes in first place, its time is 11.28 seconds. The second place has Mitsubishi, with a result 11.56. Both vehicles are equipped with AWD system. Mitsubishi owns electronically controlled AWD with different driving modes: 4WD, 4WD Auto, 4WD Lock, while Suzuki has all-grip system with driving modes: Auto, Sport, Snow or Lock. Let's check AWD in reality. For this purpose, we'll use the rollers. The first trial is Mitsubishi, and it is passing the diagonally placed rollers easily. But what if we use 3 stands and only one rear wheel will have the adherence to the pavement? Now I try all the modes, all the options, including the partial braking and stepping on the gas. This all I do for a vehicle to start transferring the torque in a correct way. But Mitsubishi cannot make it. So we change the stance placement and leave the adherence for the front wheel. Only now Mitsubishi overcomes the difficulty and moves out of the trap. What's the answer of Suzuki? No problem with the diagonally placed stands, the vehicle passes them easily. The challenge starts at the same moment as when Mitsubishi was in trouble. One more time I try all the modes and possible options. At one point it works and Suzuki is jumping out of the stance. And don't even try to argue that the vehicle got hooked somewhere on the stands. It's impossible due to construction and additional rollers that were used for this test. Now Suzuki has to get off the ground using only one front wheel. To our big surprise, the vehicle cannot make it at the first try, and the same easy as Mitsubishi did. Nevertheless, it scratches finally. The last but not least trial, 402 meters race. As you already know, Mitsubishi owns 2-liter gasoline engine, 157 horsepower and 197 newtons of torsion torque. 0 to 100 acceleration time on paper is 11.7 seconds. Suzuki also has a gasoline engine, it's 1.4 turbo booster jet, 140 horsepower and 220 newtons of torque. 0 to 100 acceleration time on paper, 10.2 seconds. The main intrigue is hidden at the speed higher than 100 km per hour. And all the intrigue is broken as from the beginning Suzuki dominates and is at least 2 car bodies ahead of Mitsubishi. By the way, Suzuki has 6-speed automatic transmission and Mitsubishi owns CVT in VEX 3 Sport mode variator. Ground clearance 215 mm has Mitsubishi and 185 Suzuki. I think that the main conclusion today is, if a solution was efficient 20 years ago, then it's the same functional nowadays. And the second conclusion is, for such a ruinous infrastructure as Ukraine has, the reliable technologies are far more important than avant-garde. You were watching 2HP and my name is Ralph. See you.